everyone. Welcome to tonight's live stream. I am working on a shot here in Maya, or a little scene. It's 3 shots together. I'm using the audio from the February 11secondclub.com website. For those unfamiliar, they post up an audio clip that's 11 seconds long, and they say, animate something with this. And they have a contest you can submit it to, but I won't be doing that. I'll just be working on it just to make a scene. Let's jump back over into Maya here. This is, day 4 or 5 now. I'm not totally sure. Just doing each one of these about an hour, and so you're seeing everything in real time. You're not really missing me doing any animation except for during the live stream. And just to really quickly sort of go over this, the scene is 2 characters. Oh, hello. Let's not select everything. It's 2 characters on like a blind date. And the audio is from Ghostbusters, the 2016 version. So they're sort of at this table here. Our next shot is sort of her reaction, and you can see this window here. Let me move this GUI picker. Sorry. This window here that we're looking at, this is the render window. That's like our final camera shot. So just to recap, sorry, we have our opening shot of them at the table talking. A cut to a shot of her sort of reacting and, her question to him, and then his sort of response. And the audio, I'll play this through now, and you can just get a sense of what this sounds like. One second, let me just move my camera off. You're hearing the camera off the computer and through the webcam mic here, so there might be slight delays, but we're in our blocking phase now, like I said, and these are just sort of like what are some key poses to then work the main acting through. So I'll play this now.
Did the actor thing work for?
Just real quick, can I ask why no glass?
Oh, yeah, they just kept getting dirty, so I took them out. I don't have to clean them anymore.
So he's referring to the his eyeglasses. In the reference footage here, there's a little bit of a, let's see, where is it here? A little bit of a hand gesture that I do when I shot reference footage of myself, sort of acting through the scene. How would I do it? I took him out, so he sort of gestures to the glasses, hopefully to make that a little clearer. And as you can see, the poses right now are very limited. There's just a couple main things that they can then sort of like hit that pose and sort of work within, get the weight of the body, and then sort of what are the hand gestures, what's the facial things that they're doing. So I have like when shooting the reference, it's sort of interesting. You sort of, at least I've tend to overact, and so now that I'm animating it, it's like, what's the essence of that, and how can I break that down to just be the key useful bits. All right, so I'm just going to, I'll just play it one more time just so we can see it. Jump into full screen. There we go. And I'll just play this now.
Did the actor thing work for?
Just real quick, can I ask why no glass?
Oh, yeah, they just kept getting dirty, so I took them out. I don't have to clean them anymore.
Okay, so what I want to do here, this is my perspective window. You can see all of their controls here. A lot of controls for the face and mouth. These rigs are through Animation Mentor. I'm an alumni there, so I have access to their rigs. I think you can buy these through animationrigs.com, but you would need to check that out on your own. I can't confirm whether or not that's real. And I'm also using something called the GUI picker, which allows me to select all these joints and to help sort of helps really speed up the process of animating. So I think what I want to do here, let me select my Jules character. And I'm actually going to select my reference footage, my playback. I'm just going to play this, look at my reference again.
Did the actor thing. Worked
Just a
for.
minute. Just real quick. Can I ask why no glass?
Oh, yeah. They just kept getting dirty, so I took them out. So don't have to clean them anymore.
Okay, it's stuttering quite a bit on playback there. So apologies. Okay, so let's get out of this window. Let's get to our render. Okay. All right. Might put these characters in a proxy mode at some point. All right, so this is definitely a real live stream. You're going to watch me sort of think through everything I'm doing. There's going to be moments where I'm just sort of trying to figure out what my next step is, thought is. And these videos are probably half an hour, maybe an hour. Just trying to get a sense. All right. I think I want to do his hands. I didn't really do a pass on his hands, and that's really pretty desperately needed. So let's look for this first shot here. This is where we cut. See if it edits here, cuts to her. I'm just going to go back to frame 55. Set my timeline to be frame 55. And I'm just going to play this a little bit.
Did the actor thing. Worked for.
Okay.
Did the actor thing. Worked.
Pull this up. Okay. So when I shot my reference, I sort of made the mistake here. I was shot a little bit too tight and didn't really put myself in a position to be able to totally see the hands here, but that's all right because I have hands here. So I can sort of look through this, figure out how I want to do it. Let's start with the very first hand. And what I ended up doing with her, I don't know if you're familiar with these rigs or how character rigs are sometimes done, is that over here I have like master controls for like a master cupping feature, a master fist feature, and so forth. What I ended up doing when I animated her shot is I didn't use those. Instead, I decided to just use all of, putting the GUI picker over here, you'll see there's all of these individual controls for all the joints and parts of the hand. And there are major, like this is just the whole, let's say, finger or something. I got this to rotate. The finger is a unit. A little bit of those, but I find that, I don't know, sometimes those master controls are really convenient because you can just like quick hit a pose, but then I end up going back and cleaning it up so much, and then I end up having to work against those master controls. So just figured this time I was going to challenge myself and just not use them. In a way, hopefully that makes things more simplified. Okay, so just one quick second here. Okay, I'm going to make a new layer from these objects. So I'm going to layers, create layer from selected. I'm going to call this props. I just turn this stuff off. Oh, that's weird. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, let me just undo that a little bit because it didn't select the faces. There we go. And also include the light that I had placed in the scene. Great. And what I can do here, there we go. So it gives me a little reference here. You can still sort of see where those elements are, and then I'll, of course, refine from there. Alright, so let's start with the thumb. So I'm going to be using the GUI picker. I can pull up this sort of a reference to the GUI picker. You should see the buttons highlight as I roll over, but it's not you won't actually see my mouse over it. So I'm going off screen to select it. That's because I'm just trying to save some real estate here as I animate so I can see what I'm looking at better. Oh, great thing to catch here before I got real into this. Let me select all these elements. I'm going to do the translations and rotations. I'm going to add them to my character set. So I have a character set for my Jules character. That's this guy. And there we go. I'll just spot check these, make sure they all transfer over. Great. The wrist, I think, is already there. Sweet. So I want to make sure that I have a functioning character set, because that allows me to easily key everything all at once. And then I move the little pad here. Oops. I guess a slight more rotation. It'll make it feel like it's connected with the table in a natural but still relaxed way. There we go. Cool. So I sort of free-formed, grabbed this picker just in this, you can control these, but I wanted to make sure I was using the axis and not getting my finger like a weird twist. Now in my render camera, this hand is here. Oh, here's a good little call out. So the thumb, it's just like this extra little blip there, right? But you can't read it. And that is something that I want to make sure that you know what you're looking at. So it either needs to go out of frame or be in frame in a way that you know why are you looking at this thing. I think to help make the shot a little more clarified, I'm going to move the thumb in. So it's not in the frame and sort of competing for being like, what's that? Why does he have, it looks like it's an extra finger or something. Okay. Still want to make I could just take the thumb and go like this, but that's not going to be great for when I go to render it. Something's going to look weird. You know, shadow, or later I go to move that hand, you know, it comes up and or it just shifts a little bit on the table as he adjusts his weight. And then it's like you have this weird thing happening. So I always try to think like what would really happen and work with that. So move the wrist up. Oh, sorry, GUI picker's like in the way here. Put that down to the bottom. Hopefully that's safe. If at any point, you know, there's something in the way, you didn't see something, or I didn't explain what I was doing, and you have a question, just ask. I will do my best to answer it, or leave a comment, and I'll do the same. This hand, a little bit of rotation, so it's a little more natural feeling, maybe. All right. So I'm going to try to keep these fingers sort of in a little bit of a bunch, and then the middle two. Trying to get a little bit more peeling sort of pose happening with those. Although this is easily pulled up from the joint in a way. So shift select. So I'm using these controls here now. So I think I'm going to change this decision I made here. So I'm already sort of not happy with sort of what's happening pose-wise with this hand. Like I said before, I was going to sort of keep those middle two fingers sort of grouped. I just don't feel like that's reading the way I want it to. I'd much rather keep the two on the end grouped together. Yeah, it's already a million times better. And then I'll keep these. So it'll be a little live long and prosper. Some of this is just foreshortening. It's giving me a really ugly look. I'm not happy with. Trying to get a little extra curve to these bottom joints, which means I have to pull these up and out a bit. I'm not happy with this at all. Just trying to think here. So which hand is it in the shot? It's this. Let me get something here. See, now what would he be doing? So he's this is sort of an interesting little bit. Like I'm thinking like, okay, what is a hand pose that helps to say like this character's sort of mental process or state, which is like he's sort of being cocky. Do the actor thing, no big deal, but sort of pretty cool. So I'm thinking maybe let's see if I'm acting that out. So he goes, do the actor thing. And the hand kind of comes up. But so the other hand, I don't think the other hand's flat on the table unless he's putting weight on it, which he's not. He's resting on his elbow. I think the hand is more like curled under. I think that's what should be happening. So let me just adjust this, all right. And this is one of the things that, I'm going to move this just out of the way for a second. This is like really important, I think. When you're doing all this stuff, you need to ask yourself, like, is it working? And if not, you need to turn it off. So I'm going to select a bunch of these elements here. So I'm shift selecting. I'm going to repose this hand. Because I think that needs to happen. Oh, why did that break? Oh, weird. Okay. Did these disconnect from the... No. Okay, that was scary. See all my little controls are popped off there. And I think I'm going to do the opposite of what I said before. And I'm going to use some of these master controls. You know, like what works, do with the one that works. So sometimes people want to know like what's really tough about animation. To me, it's like you just have to know how to be a really good self-critic. Turn off these controls. You know how to like say that something's working or not. I'm gonna rotate this a little bit. So hopefully this will work. Sort of waiting for like there to be a video where, because I knew it would happen. Where I would have something that I'd sort of end up struggling with a little bit, something. So we'll find out if tonight is the night where don't make progress, or I do. We'll find out. Since this shift click doesn't seem to catch. I don't know if it's my mouse or. So a little bit. Then I'm going to just see if I can rotate this in just a touch. To hide that pinky so it's not super. I don't like that, so I don't like as much as here. I'll show you what I'm talking about better. So the pinky is sticking out like this, and I think it should be rotated in. So it's not distracting. And then sort of same with the thumb like I was saying before. I think really now the thumb is going to be in the way. I'm just trying to have a little variation to some of this strong joint, just so that it doesn't feel too static and awkward. Sort of thinking like fun to like do something more with this finger out. got very long fingers on this rig. Oof, that's not going to work. Yeah, there's a great little rule that I saw somewhere once, or guideline, let's say. It's like, you have an idea, take 15 minutes and try it. And if after that 15 minutes you're like, that doesn't work, then stop. You know? So I'm going to take a few minutes, I'm just going to give this a shot and see if I can get a pose here that I think would be a little more varied and interesting. Let's see, I'm just sort of looking at my hand. Let's see, so what am I doing? Okay. Cool, so I'm just going to reset some of these and try this again. Put that just here. Is this connecting or not? Okay. All right. Okay, I think that this is starting to actually feel a lot better. You know, part of it is I just sort of popped my hands on the desk and saw, like, how do they land, how do they fall when I hit a pose like this. And, you know, just see, like, what happens. Trying to find that balance between, like, what looks good in render cam and what looks good, you know, in the perspective view. It's funny, I got this frozen picture of me down on the bottom here. I could make this a 2 up. Let's do that. 2 panes side by side. That's a little bit better, right? And then I can, like that maybe. Okay. Try to relax this thumb just a touch. Seems very aggressive. We're going to leave this like this for now, and I'll come back to it later to revisit probably at some point. See, you know, how it sort of plays out, and like how I feel about this next time I look at the shot, and subsequent shots. Does it move into where it needs to go, you know? So I'm concerned that this might be a little distracting. I don't want it to feel like even though he's not, I just don't want it to feel like he's sort of giving the finger or something. turn off the manipulators. Okay, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to say move on, move on. All right, now let's let's look at this other hand. So I'm just going to select all really quick in the GUI picker. So I'm just going to say select all, key selected. So yep, this is what I was waiting for. So let's see why that's going nuts, because I should be in a stepped tangent mode. And I suspect that is not the case somewhere in here. I'm going to open up my graph editor, and we're going to see what's going on. Yeah, so I got all these controls here. Like, so what are these? These are so I'm going to rotate Y on the index middle finger, which is here I would key for, but there's nothing here. So my hands move between shots. This hand I'm going to maintain what's happening, so I'm going to turn off my character set. I'm going to select these controls for this hand. So this is a little time consuming. Great. So this hand on the left, this should now be, let's see. Yeah, so it's going to go nuts again here. And all the way to the shot. So it's actually not too bad of a fix. I'll turn my Jules character set back on, which will show me the keyframes throughout the rest of the shot. And I'm going to key those. So render camera is now over here, if there's any confusion. That's because some of those elements weren't part of the character set. So some of them got keyed on those other frames, and others, of course, didn't exist. Okay. Cool. Now, here's a good question. So I have this set up as FK right now, which is why when this next pose happens, the hand lifts, because these subsequent joints are pulling. This is controlling this, which is controlling this, etc. I could switch to IK mode. So instead of so the way it's up now is what's called forward kinematics, or FK, and this means that the position of the joints along the spine are controlled by the previous joints. So if I rotate his hips, his hands go with him. Oddly, his glasses didn't. What's that about? Okay. I'll figure that problem out another time. So here what happens is when the frame changes, his shoulder lifts up, thus his hand lifts up. I could switch that to inverse kinematics, or IK, which would mean that when the shoulder pulls up, the hand would not be affected. It essentially acts more like a marionette on strings. Then this hand would stay in place until I pull it to the next position. I think I'm going to switch to IK because that way I like IK because for getting arcs and moving the hand via the wrist as opposed to moving the hand via the shoulder. The little bit of the concern is I got to bring up my IK FK switcher and hope that that is going to work. I switch to a full screen view of me. Hi everyone. Because I have to pull up some tools here, and I don't know if it's going to show a like my login and username on the main screen. So where the heck is this? There's the mirror. FK IK snap. Let's see if that does what I want it to do. I think so. Okay. Cool. So let's see. Well, let's find out if this works. This is this animationrigs.com snapping tool, and it says character none, so I'm not sure if this is going to translate at all. So you can see if I go to, I'm going to select the layout node at the bottom, and I'm looking for, it's probably on this handout here, sorry. Yes. Looks like it's actually built into the rig. Sweet. Great. This is great. Okay, cool. Not built into the rig, but alright, so now I'm going to change this throughout. So I have this in the GUI picker here. I'm just selecting this main base hand control, and I am going to go to frame 1 here, which is the first frame of my animation, and let's see. All right, got a big alert on my phone. I thought, oh, it's something important, but apparently it was just Adele winning an award at the Grammys. Good for her. Anytime anyone succeeds in arts, it's great. But I thought it was something like a crisis. All right. So this is the, I guess this is his right arm. And I want to align the IK to the FK. Let's see if I hit snap, what happens. Nothing. I'm gonna have to probably, this is not, like, I don't even know if this is gonna suck. If anyone out there in the world is really familiar with this rig, and you know your IK, FK on this, I'd love, feel free to drop me a line. Yeah, tonight I think is the night. Tonight's the night we've been waiting for. What was the night when I was going to hit a roadblock and something stupid, like technical? And tonight is it. Just getting that hand in the spot where I wanted and now flipping this. Yeah, well here's what we'll do first. So I'm going to switch over everything to IK. So I'm going to check that there's a controller FK IK blend, which you see I've selected here. And in the, you can see this is it turned on. I'm not sure how well this is going to read in the live stream. So this is at 1. And down here, it's at 0. So it's off. So each one of these is a frame. There's a marker there, there, there. So I'm just going to select these, set them all to 1, which means that at all my frames now, hello, come on. His hand is going to be floating out in space because that is where the IK point is. Oh, there's a shift there, that's interesting. Let's check my IK. Oh look, there's actually some controls on this. I wonder if I moved it inadvertently at some point. Yeah, it looks like when I was maybe doing my other pose, I might have clicked that control for something and scooted it. I'm just going to delete this from the, so it's the same in all positions now. Alright, well, there's some easy ways to deal with this. One is, since I don't have a lot of frames pasted in yet, I can just put this hand where I want it. And then there's arm twist here. So reposing that wasn't a huge pain. You know, is it as good? Well, guess we can toggle between the two. Find out. So here's the IK on, IK off. Let's go into our render camera here. Off, on, off, on. The things I like about IK is that it's going to be so fast sometimes to get the hand we want. I think this is actually going to be better. It feels a little bit more neutral and natural to me. I like the little bit of a silhouette it's creating. This felt a little bit tight, and there it feels a little bit more relaxed. Cool. You'll see the hand jumps and does crazy stuff there. So this is just as simple as me selecting the IK controller. You can see in the graph editor how it's shifting. So this hand is going to stay in this position ostensibly throughout the shot. I'll obviously move it to coordinate with how the body's shifting, but I'm going to select all these frames. I can delete them. So now that hand will stay essentially locked. And one of the things that you have to look out for is that like this, like his body moves, but his hand stays totally locked. So this is where I like IK, is that you can then just sort of drag it sort of how you feel like you want it to move. When you're in FK, there's a little bit of sort of like backwards compensation. Yeah, I'm down with this for sure. Let me do a save. And while that's happening, cool. All right, I think this is. I'm feeling happy about where I am right now in terms of some progress for tonight. I'm going to now just look at this hand when it scoots. Open up a little bit. And I'm going to open up some of these fingers a little bit. So I realized I pulled this one sort of a joint I didn't want. Undo that a little bit and then pull it from this palm joint more. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Apologies to anyone who's about ready to be deafened if I do. I'm a loud sneezer. So yeah, I'm going to get rid of these. So I animated these joints changing between these two poses, and I realized that I should have moved from the palm first. I'm not sure how, if in this GUI picker, how much you can see that as I'm going. So that's why I'm sort of recapping. Oh, not what I wanted. Up. I'm going to rotate this in a little bit this way. So I have a similar thing here. And then I can start to See, I did it again. I grabbed the finger knuckle joints. I should have been grabbing the palm, like top of the hand joint. So hopefully you can sort of feel this hand. Just sort of pull a little bit on the table as the shoulder drives. Try with this hand here. Okay. So I think that this was a good sort of setup for tomorrow, which will be focusing on this hand. So this is the real acting hand of this shot. This is sort of more mechanics. And this is going to be really important because I have to create this. This hand has not been posed. It's just sort of very general in where I've placed it. So I'll need to, this is the camera angle. I really wish this was a little higher up. Whoa, hello. I'll get lower. I need to pose that hand in a real way that feels like it's natural. And then I'll need to, between these two frames, you know, here, where are we? Here, this needs to just feel like a natural pose. And then it comes up, obviously. There's mechanics in there, but there's also action in there. Cool. And I would probably be tempted to do another hour, but I actually have to shoot another video that I'm overdue for, which is one of my music-based videos about learning the sitar, which is something that I've been doing for about 5 years now. And that's I think why a lot of people actually come to this channel. So I got to make sure I do stuff for you. All right, please leave comments, like this video if you are watching on the replay, and subscribe. And if you find these useful or you want to support me in making more of these, then please jump over to Patreon. I will have a link at the end here or in the description. You can go over there and you can chip in a little bit, and that'd be super awesome. There's a handful of people who have done so already, and I'm like internally grateful to all those people. So thank you. And thank you for watching, and thank you for watching to this far at the end. All right, have a wonderful evening, and good night. All right, bye-bye.